Me talk about why I think anger management gets it wrong and why I think anger resolution is a better process and option for men that are struggling with destructive anger. So a couple of critiques on your standard anger management. But before I get in there, let me talk a little bit about myself. So I've been a helper for 22 years. I've helped hundreds of young men and men overcome destructive anger. I have been certified and trained in several anger management type interventions. I'm a master trainer in what's called aggression replacement training. So I'm pulling from all of those experiences, all of those technical formal education experiences combined with my repetitions of working with scores of men and young men to overcome destructive anger and to transform that into constructive anger. I'm pulling from all of that to bring to the world what I call anger resolution. So let me talk about anger management. I think that one of the reasons that anger management gets a knock from me is because it doesn't set up the scenario right. It doesn't set up the stage right, meaning that very seldom in anger management will you hear expressly that anger is a normal, natural feeling, right? Anger is one of the four primary feeling states: mad, sad, glad, and afraid. And those feeling states are hardwired into everybody, and they're part of human beings for survival reasons. So I'm here, you're here watching this video because someone at some point responded effectively to anger to keep themselves safe or to keep somebody else safe. And if we completely disavow anger, then we're cutting off a huge mechanism for what is responsible for keeping us alive as human beings: mad, sad, glad, and afraid, the four primary feeling states. So that's something that typical anger management doesn't get right. Something else they don't get right is they don't recognize that most men are conditioned to primarily experience anger as their primary feeling state. So if that's the case, so they're not allowed to be sad. They don't know what to do when they're glad, and they won't admit that they're afraid. And if mad is the primary feeling state that they're in tune with, when they go into things like anger management, they get told things like anger management is a secondary emotion. I don't believe that. And they basically, the message is that you're here because you have an anger problem, and the answer to that problem is to stop being angry. And so basically what that communicates to that man and a lot of men who are primarily in tune with anger is that their feelings aren't valid, right? If my primary way of experiencing feelings is anger, and I go to a workshop, a class, or a person or a therapist, and I'm told that anger is secondary to something, well, secondary to what? I don't know what it's secondary to, and that I need to stop being angry. Again, you're functionally telling men that their feelings aren't valid, right? And we have to recognize that that's what we have done over and over and over again. And so, what in contrast to that, what anger resolution does, what my program does, is help men to, number one, define the four primary feeling states. Helps them understand how they became overly in tune or overly connected to anger, and then that helps them really describe in detail at a personal level just how anger has a grip on them. And then we use that awareness to then develop skills and give men skills, equip men skills in a supportive environment so that they can use these new skills so that they can respond effectively to anger. And then finally, part of the final process is to help men really remove the source of destructive anger in their lives. And that usually comes through forgiveness. So it's a forgiveness process. So we have awareness, we equip the skills, and then we help people remove destructive anger overall, once and for all, through a forgiveness process. And that's what I have put together for my program called Anger Resolution, and why I think it's a much better fit than standard anger management. And ultimately, it's to help men be empowered, have courage, and restore the critical relationships that have been damaged because of their destructive anger. So if you want to know more or hear more about this, the easiest way is just drop me a message in Messenger, and I'm happy to continue this conversation with you.